Now, this is clear. The midpoint theorem is the line segment joining the midpoint of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side. So first we draw a figure like this. Then we have to congruent this and this. Then we have to congruent this two triangle. This two triangle, we have to congruent this two triangle by SAS. SAS से हम उसे congruent करेंगे. After then, we say angle F is equal to angle D by CPCT and CF is equal to BD by CPCT. For angle F is equal to angle ADE, we can write the equation 1. We know that D is the midpoint, so this is equal to this. If this line is equal to this, means CF is equal to AD and AD is equal to BD. Therefore, BD is equal to CF. From equation 1 and 2, we get BCFD is a parallelogram. If it is a parallelogram, then we can use all the property from the parallelogram. So angle B is equal to angle C. Angle B. This is the angle B and this is the CFD. Angle B is equal to angle F because the opposite angle of a parallelogram. Then angle CFD is equal to, we know that this angle is equal to this, means CFD or CFE is equal to ADE. Already we proved above or before in this question only. Then if B is equal to F and D is equal to F, it means that B is equal to D. If B is equal to D, then they form an they form alternate angle because we know that these two lines are now these two lines are not parallel. Now they form alternate angle, and then DF, the whole DF is parallel to BC, and this is the also concept here. DF is parallel to BC, and we know that E is a point somewhere in the DF, or we say midpoint of the DF, because in while proving it congruent, then we use DE is equal to FE through the construction. Then the half of this, now the DE is parallel to BC, then DF is equal to BC and the opposite side of a parallelogram. This is the DF, sorry, there is DF, and BC is equal as opposite side of a parallelogram. Now half of DF is equal to half of BC. We can substitute half of DF is DE, so it is DE is equal to half of BC. तो मिड पॉइंट थ्योरम से हमें क्या मिला? ये तो हमारा प्रूफ था जो हमने कर लिया, लेकिन हमें मिड पॉइंट थ्योरम से मिला क्या? जहां पर हमें बस कुछ नहीं करना है, इतनी सी बात का ध्यान रखना है कि इफ अ फिगर इज लाइक दिस in any question A, B, C, D and if it is given D and E are midpoints, then DE is parallel to BC and second DE is equal to half of BC, और इसके आगे हमें लिखना है मिड पॉइंट थ्योरम. मिड पॉइंट थ्योरम इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट. मैं पहले भी बता चुका हूँ कि ये हमारे 10th क्लास के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो यू मस्ट प्रैक्टिस मिड पॉइंट थ्योरम एंड अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ मिड पॉइंट थ्योरम, बिकॉज 10th क्लास में इसका कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है. यू जस्ट यूज ओनली मिड पॉइंट थ्योरम. नाउ क्लियर एवरीवन. और यही दो लाइन हमें लिखनी होती है. इतना बड़ा थ्योरम हमने प्रूव किया, बट वी हैव if it is given. Now, अब इसके बाद एक और चीज है, द कन्वर्स ऑफ मिड पॉइंट थ्योरम. कन्वर्स ऑफ मिड पॉइंट थ्योरम. सी, कन्वर्स ऑफ मिड पॉइंट थ्योरम में कहता है क्या कि इनमें हमारे पास यहाँ पर कितने ऑप्शन, कितनी चीजें मिली हुई हैं. वन, दिस इज द मिड पॉइंट, दिस इज द मिड पॉइंट, दिस टू, देन वी कंक्लूड this line is parallel to this. So there is three points or three circumstances is here. Means one, the midpoints D and F. These are two circumstances. Then we get D is parallel to BC. So एक, 1, 2 and this is 3. So three things we get from the midpoint theorem. ये half तो secondary चीज है. The midpoint theorem we get कि D and E are the two midpoints, then we get the parallel lines. But the converse of midpoint theorem is what? Converse of midpoint, the converse of midpoint is the line drawn from the midpoint of one side. See, in the converse of midpoint theorem, suppose A, B, C is the triangle and this is D and this is F. The converse of midpoint theorem is in between three concepts. The given portion is D is a midpoint. D is a midpoint. Then 1, 1, 1, 1 given is this, and second is D is parallel to BC. If D is a midpoint and DE is parallel to BC, so therefore E is a midpoint. This is visible downline. So therefore E is a midpoint. A reason is converse of midpoint. कन्वर्स ऑफ मिड पॉइंट. और इसको प्रूव करने के लिए भी मैंने तुम्हें पहले भी बताया था ब्रज, यू कैन यूज द सेम कॉन्सेप्ट. ठीक है, मैं इसका कन्वर्स भी प्रूव कर देता हूँ. यू ऑल हैव टू कॉपी दिस, बट ये मैंने तुम्हें समझाया. सो इफ द थ्री थिंग इज देयर इज टू मिड पॉइंट, द लाइन इज पैरेलल. If we have this midpoint is given, then line is parallel. If one is the midpoint and one is parallel, then third is the midpoint. So, sorry, ये जो भी कॉन्सेप्ट है वो इस थ्री थिंग्स के अंदर ही चल रहा है. कोई बाहर की चीज नहीं आई है उसके अंदर. और उसको हमने नाम दे दिया कन्वर्स ऑफ मिड पॉइंट थ्योरम. वी नो दैट डी इज, अब इसमें ऐसा होता है कि डी इसका मिड पॉइंट नहीं है, जस्ट दिस लाइन इज पैरेलल टू दिस, then we cannot use the midpoint theorem. We cannot use the midpoint theorem if the midpoints are not given. If the midpoints are not given, then we are not able to prove D and E by midpoint theorem only. Proof तो हम किसी भी तरीके से उसे कर सकते हैं, but by using midpoint theorem we are not able to prove D and E are the midpoint of that triangle, the triangle ABC. So one thing in the converse, इसको ध्यान से देख लो, इसमें given है D is a midpoint and the line is parallel. D is a midpoint and line is parallel. Then we say that कि E is a midpoint. This is the converse of midpoint. The line drawn through, अब मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ इसको एक बार. The line drawn through the midpoint of one side of a triangle parallel to the another side bisect the third side. मतलब this is the point from where the line is drawn, D, given as a midpoint of AB. If the D is a midpoint and a line from D, we draw a line which is parallel to the second side, that is BC. क्योंकि अभी इस साइड के बारे में बात नहीं हुई है, क्योंकि E इज नॉट अ मिड पॉइंट. सो फर्स्ट साइड, here is the first D, and second is this. This is the second side, and now this is the third. If the two thing is given, कि D is a midpoint and this two line is a parallel, then we conclude that E is a midpoint. This is the converse of midpoint theorem. Now, let us see. See. Now this is converse of midpoint theorem. The line drawn through the midpoint of midpoint of one side of a triangle parallel to second side. ठीक है, या इसमें अनदर लिखा हुआ है, मैंने सेकेंड लिखा है. पैरेलल टू second side bisect the third. Clear? Now this is the figure here. This is the figure here. A, B, C, and this is the D, and a line passing from here. In this same we have to construct like this, and we can mark E, and this is F. And in this same we have to prove the same thing. So the given is D is a midpoint, D is a midpoint, and D is parallel to BC. To prove E is the midpoint of AC. To construct, draw a line, CX parallel to AB, and F is a point somewhere on the CX, and F is a point on CX. ठीक है, ये कंस्ट्रक्शन है. नाउ द प्रूफ स्टार्ट. प्रूफ in triangle ADE and triangle CFE. So we know that this is equal to this. Yes. Now see, this is equal to this, and now this is equal to this, and what we say कि this is equal to this. This is equal to this. This is equal to this. इसमें मैं लिखूंगा नहीं. You can just see. मैं इसमें mark कर दे रहा हूँ. Suppose this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So angle 1 is equal to angle 4. Alternate angle. And angle 2 is equal to angle 3. Vertically opposite. Vertically opposite. And then we take AD is equal to CF through construction. Through construction. Now, this triangle is congruent. Triangle is congruent by AAS. ठीक है? Because in this is easy to prove because we have to prove. इसमें हमें prove करने की जरूरत नहीं है कि BCFD is a parallelogram. This is already proved because for construction we take this is parallel to this and CF is equal to D as D is the midpoint. क्लियर. तो इसलिए यहाँ पर ये गिवन ये हमारे कंस्ट्रक्ट थ्रू कंस्ट्रक्शन वी गेट बी सी एफ डी इज अ पैरेललोग्राम. दैट इज व्हाई we can directly take this is equal to this. Now it is congruent and we have to prove this and this. So AE is equal to CE by CPCT. Therefore E is a midpoint of AC. क्लियर. अभी कोई डाउट है क्या इसमें? कोई डाउट है इसमें तो बताओ. बिकॉज ये हमें लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. ये मैंने लिख दिया है तुम्हारे लिए कि इसका पूरा कंस्ट्रक्शन हम पूरा जो कंस्ट्रक्शन है अगर हम ये पूरा कंस्ट्रक्शन लिखेंगे तो मेरे पास जगह नहीं बचेगी. इसलिए मैंने सिर्फ लिखा है ड्रॉ अ लाइन सी एक्स. हमने एक लाइन बनाई है उसमें एफ इज अ पॉइंट ऑन एक्स और which is joined with E, which is joined with D through E. ऐसे करके हमें इसको पूरा करना होता है लेकिन मैंने पूरा नहीं लिखा. इस बिहाफ पे we get ACFD is a parallelogram because we through the construction we get BD is equal to CF and this is parallel to then BCFD is a parallelogram through the construction. So we can use the two angles. This is vertically opposite, this is alternate and this is equal to this through the construction. तो ये triangle congruent हो गया by AAS और we know that if it is a congruent so AE is equal to CE. Now clear everyone? सिर्फ तुम्हारी आवाज आ रही है बाकियों की नहीं. And you have to send me the. हाँ बोलो. Yes, I need a क्या बोलते हैं उसको. I need a attendance please हाँ from you. मुझे absentees का नाम चाहिए. और हाँ ठीक है. No problem. I think the time is over. Okay. Okay, now you also go to join the next class. Okay, bye bye. Take care. Huh?